everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a great midweek and this week has been going good for everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today we'll talk about Russia's hypersonic weapons in comparison to US. Today is Putin's birthday, and the reason this is important because Zircon rocket got tested today. That is what he wanted for his birthday, and this is what Russian Ministry of Defense provided him with. The testing was successful. It was reported to him via video calls. There's a video of the Zircon hypersonic weapon being launched from Admiral Gorshkov, and it was a successful launch. The vehicle flew 450 kilometers in length. It was in 28 height. So what are really hypersonic weapons and how do they differ? There is Russia's Avangard that has been discussed quite a while. However, what is Avangard? Avangard is a block that can be attached to even older Soviet rockets. It is a hypersonic, but it's more on the simplistic side. And what it does, it can fly complex, unpredictable trajectory, versus regular weapons fly a predictable trajectory and how they're gonna hit the target. Also, there is a Kinjal. Kinjal is another more simpler hypersonic weapon, but nevertheless, it uses a regular rocket engine. And now we get to Zircon. Zircon uses specific engine. It's hypersonic reactive engine. What is very important is they fly, and hypersonic weapons fly over 3 times the speed of sound. And there's where this patented classified technology comes in with Zircon. Obviously, the portion of how it functions is classified, but to give a basic explanation leading to that, when usually hypersonic weapons, when they fly, and in order to hit a target, they have to slow down under the 3 times the speed of sound in order for a warhead to launch and hit the target. In the case of Zircon, it can actually hit over 3 times the speed of sound. This is where the classified part comes in. And the reason why this is so important and so challenging is because usually when that happens, there's a cloud forms around, which is like almost like a Freudian cloud around it, which is a plasma cloud that creates very challenging and difficult conditions to actually navigate. It actually interferes with navigation, and it also interferes with controls because it almost like has a preventative layer to basically explain that. So in order to get that, this is what the new Zircon has classified technology that Russia was able to achieve. They're able to achieve for the warhead to navigate and start heading for the course over the 3 times the speed of sound. And this is how it operates. But nevertheless, as I pointed out, there's no, and since it is classified and obviously state secret technology, there is no information how they were able to achieve that in regards and how the whole system operates, because clearly, like I said, it's not available. At the same time, US has a Boeing X-51 fighter. It has been around and started being tested even before Russia started testing theirs. However, it never really truly took off yet. And the reason behind it, I'm not saying take off about test flights or anything like that, I'm saying about the technology is not being finalized. And I think part of it could be possibly because under Obama administration there was sequestration. But nevertheless, I'm not saying it's Obama's administration fault for slowing down any technology or putting a cap in funding. What the problem was is actually coming off Bush W, big war with Iraq and everything that happened in the Middle East. US economy was having very challenging times, and when Obama got elected, he had to do what's right in order to maintain economy. And I don't want to get into US politics as far as George W. Bush, Republicans or Democrats. I'm just explaining as far as the hypersonic weapons are concerned. So what are the hypersonic weapons needed for? For example, Avangard. Avangard is used to hit a certain target. It would be predictable, non-moving stationary target, and it could destroy everything. At this point, there is no weapons that can actually stand up to it, but nevertheless, there's discussions that US is upgrading their rockets, but there's no testing. Successful testing has been done to say 100% that they can withstand the hit of Avangard. As far as Zircon is concerned, if anybody is asking the question, what is the rocket with a speed of 450 kilometers in length, the rocket, what could it be used for and what kind of targets? Because 450 kilometers is not a lot, especially surrounding Russia. If anybody's questioning if it's going to be possibly used in former Soviet republics, no, this is not what it's meant for. it meant to be put in submarines. So basically speaking, this rocket specifically would be put in submarines. And actually, Russia is going to start equipping submarines with Zircon. What are they going to be used for? They're going to be used underwater or on water targets, like I said. It's going to be very specific. And what this would do if needed, and hopefully it will never be needed because it would be quite disastrous, is to hit, for example, telecommunications. It would hit, that would paralyze the whole world as far as infrastructure goes. That's what it could be used and could destroy everything. This is exactly what they're meant for. They're not meant for anything outside of that. So I just wanted to point that out, and this is the main differences. Overall, though, US has been working on their own hypersonic weapons, clearly, and many are. However, at this point, Russia is advanced in that field. Russia might be weak in Navy. Russia has a very weak Navy at this point, and there's a lot of modifications needed to it, even though they actually announcing a lot of new submarines and everything, because Russia is changing its technology and upgrading it. At the same time, Navy remains one of the weak links. And it's not only the equipment, it's training. And the reason the training is an issue, because if, for example, you don't do drills every 6 months, for example, in certain type of scenarios, your skill set becomes almost obsolete. And if there is a situation where you need to go in active scenario, you're not fully prepared. And that's why there were so many tragedies. And this is why, but this was a long time ago, because clearly the times have changed. Kursk's tragedy occurred because many are saying, besides Kursk possibly having certain flaws, design flaws that have been discussed in regards to Rubin Design Bureau, there's also was an issue as far as training is concerned, because it was not a regular crew. Some of the crew members would be considered not fit to be on that mission because clearly they have not had proper training, because their training was not enough. But again, that was a long time ago. I'm not saying it's now, but this is what I'm saying is the weak points. However, when it comes to hypersonic weapons, Russia right now is number one. And I wanted just to point out what those weapons would be used for, and to give a basic explanation what they are. I would love to know what everybody thinks. I would love to know everybody's opinions. If anybody wants to add to this or would like to have a discussion, I would love to do that as well. Please click like, please subscribe to my channel. You can also read my articles under Kristina Kitova at communalnews.com. Thank you, everybody, and I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks!